Welcome to The Know. I'm Ashley Jenkins.
And I'm Gus Sorola.
One of the biggest publishers in the video game industry is again in danger of being gobbled up. And of course, we're talking about Ubisoft because it's always Ubisoft. The French developer has been the rumored target of hostile takeovers in the past, and it sounds like they might need to prepare for battle yet again.
The latest news is that their old nemesis, the French media conglomerate Vivendi, is seeking to expand and could be gearing up for a takeover attempt of Ubisoft, trying to wrestle control of the company away from its founders, the Guillemot family.
A new report from Reuters indicated that Vivendi will accelerate acquisitions in video games and advertising this year to allay investor concerns about its strategy, mixed results, and poor share performance. So basically, that means that Vivendi's shares haven't been doing so hot, and it's looking to acquire some companies really quick in the advertising and gaming worlds that are performing well to make them look better.
Sources told Reuters that the advertising group Havas and video game maker Ubisoft are expected to be the first targets as Vivendi moves into the next phase of its expansion.
And it's not even all that new for Vivendi with the whole Ubisoft thing. So currently, Vivendi, which used to own Activision before they bought themselves free, Vivendi currently owns 25% of Ubisoft, a threshold they crossed a few months ago, and not hard to see why Ubisoft would be an attractive target. Whether or not you like the games, a lot of people not so hot on them right now, but the publisher has a variety of hugely successful franchises like Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs, Division, Far Cry, Ghost Recon, Splinter Cell, and Rayman, at least the Rabbids or whatever. And Just Dance. And Vivendi might be looking to acquire Ubisoft as a way to help it break back into video games, which it sees as a very lucrative market.
But Ubisoft, which greatly values its independence, has been dead set against a takeover. In the past, Ubisoft's current CEO, Yves Guillemot, has said that a takeover threatens the construction and pillars of Ubisoft. Things like taking chances on new IPs and holding off on previously regular franchises like Assassin's Creed and Far Cry to make sure they have more polish before they're released. And if I recall, I think he even ended their E3 presser last year with a statement about how Ubisoft—
Please don't let us get taken over.
Right, yeah, telling people how great they were for being independent.
Yeah, that resistance to being acquired could ultimately lead to a hostile takeover attempt by Vivendi. Now, the reason a hostile takeover is considered hostile, for those who haven't been following along, is because it's done without the approval of a company's board. The board says, no, you can't have our company. You just go around them by telling the shareholders that you'll pay them more than their shares are worth. And then the shareholders give you their shares. They might not, but then they might. And the reason they own the shares in the first place is so they can make more money. So yeah, if you are offering them more than they're worth, they'll probably give them to you.
One of Reuters' sources referring to Ubisoft said that Vivendi is moving to the second phase. Everything will take place this year, which means that this could happen sooner rather than later. And a second source told Reuters that the logical thing would be to buy Ubisoft, but added that Vivendi chairman Vincent Bolloré would not buy the video games maker at any price and could consider other targets in China.
Bolloré has lately been on the hot seat himself when it comes to Vivendi's shareholders. In 3 years, according to Reuters, he spent nearly $16 billion of Vivendi's cash on acquisitions. That's a lot of money, including acquiring large stakes in Italian broadcasters and media companies.
But at the same time, Vivendi's shares have fallen by about 3% over the period, so analysts and others want some answers. There have been questions about the way Vivendi is being run, and some are recommending that shareholders oppose the re-election of Bolloré and the appointment of his son Yannick as board members.
Now, this whole saga with Ubisoft and Vivendi has actually been going on for a while now. So over time, Vivendi's been acquiring more and more shares of Ubisoft. GameSpot reported that in December of 2016, Vivendi had passed that 25% threshold of the publisher. That's getting closer to an important threshold because at 30%, French law mandates that Vivendi pursue a controlling stake in the company.
So it's like if I eat 30% of your hamburger, then I have to keep eating and try to eat the whole thing.
Yeah, that's pretty much the rule.
Only if we're in France.
They're kind of jerks at the dinner table.
Vivendi said in December that it's considering whether to buy more shares of Ubisoft, but it depends on market conditions, and added that it had no plans to make a purchase offer or to acquire control of Ubisoft. But
that's why they're buying all those shares, is so that they don't control it.
But Ubisoft was still not pleased. In a statement to GameSpot, a Ubisoft spokesperson said, "This is another indication that Vivendi is continuing its ill-advised and value-destructive approach of attempting to take creeping control of companies like Ubisoft."
To date, Vivendi has not sought representation on Ubisoft's board, but it has acquired another game developer that's related to Ubisoft. Last year, Vivendi acquired the mobile game developer Gameloft, and that was founded by Michel Guillemot, who is the brother of Ubisoft's CEO.
Ah, interesting.
So he's like, maybe there's a blood feud with the whole family.
Hostile takeovers, while not pleasant, are a fact of life in the corporate world, and it can sometimes happen to game companies too. Last year, we saw CD Projekt Red, the developer behind the Witcher games, make moves to defend itself against a possible hostile takeover. In a board meeting in November, the company's board moved to limit the voting power of certain kinds of shareholders, and that got a lot of people wondering if the developer was another acquisition target.
Well, a spokesperson for CD Projekt Red later said the move wasn't a response to a specific event, but it was a preventative measure, just in case the company should ever face a hostile takeover bid. Not hard to imagine that the folks at CD Projekt Red saw what was happening to Ubisoft and decided to, play some preemptive defense there.
I could see them wanting to be defensive. I could see them being a prime target for acquisition.
They've been doing so well, and so many people are so happy with what they've been putting out. It's been so successful so far. Everyone's really excited for Cyberpunk 2077.
Someone could buy the trademark for Cyberpunk.
Weird.
Meanwhile, Ubisoft seems to be having a pretty good 2017 when it comes to game sales, at least. Ubisoft is not only the top game so far this year in the US, but top 2 games according to NPD reports. Ubisoft's Ghost Recon Wildlands is the best-selling game so far in 2017, followed by another Ubisoft game, For Honor.
Yeah, and with that kind of success, not hard to see why Vivendi would have its eye on Ubisoft. Again, whether you like Ubisoft games or not, and they definitely have a reputation for being kind of buggy at times. At the end of the day, they make a lot of money, and that's ultimately what people are looking for in the world of business. If they're trying to glom up a bunch of companies, they're gonna look for the ones that make a lot of money, and right now, Ubisoft is one of those.
So what do you guys think of Vivendi possibly trying once again to gobble up Ubisoft? I don't like that word, gobble.
Gobble.
Would it be bad for games, possibly good? Let us know in the comments.
And for all your news about the video game industry, including which mega corporation is trying to devour what other mega corporation, be sure to like this video and subscribe to The Know.
Are you gonna get a hamburger?
I'm gonna go gobble one up.
Because I want to start eating your hamburger.
No!
I will eat 29% of your hamburger.
I'm changing the rules in which my hamburger eaters have powers, and they say you have none.
My attempted at eating your hamburger is ill-advised.
It is gonna destroy my values.